Hello everyone, I'm Barb Owen and this is Clausman in the studio with me, otherwise known as RL. And today we're here to answer the question, what is pyrography? Which is a good tongue twister of a word, by the way, and it means wood burning. Actually, it means writing with fire, I think is one of the interpretations from the Greek. But pyrography, we wondered what that was too. And, when we discovered that it's just another word for wood burning, it's like, well, that's been going on around this studio for quite a while, right?
That's exactly right.
So what we're going to do right away is we're going to show you, well, we have several things to do. We're going to show you some tools, some different versions of wood burning tools, and then we're going to show you some pieces that Clausman has actually created so you can see what the end result is. So let's take a look at some of those tools.
All right. This is one of your least expensive tools. It's sold by Walnut Hollow, and it's called Hot Marks. It comes with extra. You can see those. It comes with these tips that go on here. You can do different things with them, and it comes with the extra ones with it.
And each tip does a different thing, right?
Yes, each tip will do a different thing, and what you do, you just screw this out. I'll do that on the other one. You just screw the tip out, and then screw the new one in, where you can see the threads on that.
Yeah, show them over at the other camera so they can see that a little bit better.
Okay. You can see the threads on that. Well,
here, pull it back to you there. There you go.
Okay, now. See the threads on that? And what it does, let me get that other tool, and we'll talk about that one in a minute. You just unscrew this tip on the end of it and just screw that one in. Now, you can look at this tip and see this one has a shape that's molded into it.
So that's for actually doing a design, right?
It will actually learn that. The one that I took out of there has circles on it. And so, and that's what you're going to get if you put that on the wood after it's heated up.
So some of those tips, like this funny little looking tip here, those are called shaders.
That's a shader, Now, that one can be used for a number of different things, but they call that one a shader.
And then you've got some that can draw lines or
right.
can make
this
marks.
This one, you can draw lines. This is it's sharp, but it's narrow, and you can draw lines with it. They actually call this a calligraphy tip.
Oh, that's cool. So you can even write with that.
You can write with it. Yes, you can.
Now, let's show them the advantage of maybe that other tool.
Okay. Scoot these tips over. This tool right here is less expensive than this tool right here. The reason being, this tool has an off and on switch, and that's all. This one has a rheostat, or a thermostat if you want to call it that. It's a rheostat that you can turn it on and turn it up to different heat volumes, different heat, and to match the wood or whatever you want. This tool is the Versa tool. The other one that I showed you was called Hot Marks.
So this is a little bit more money.
It's a little bit more money, but I don't think it was but about maybe $6 or $7 more than that other one.
But you get a lot more options because of that heat tool.
Yes.
This is probably a better place to start, actually, don't you think?
That's a good place to start because you can control the temperature. that other one, you could do just about anything with it that you could do with this one after you have had some experience. And
so it's like anything, you got to practice.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, show them the other tool that you've got there. So if they like wood burning and they want to step up a little bit further, then what comes next?
Then you could go up to this, and this is called a detailer. In fact, it says on the front of it, they call it a detailer, and it's got an off and on switch. And then this over here adjusts the temperature on the tip of your wood burner. You get off of that black, you can't see it. Now see this, that's a tip. This is see the shape of it. And this volume, or this thermostat, adjusts the amount of electricity that's going to that and makes it hotter or a little bit less
And
hot.
this one is made by what company?
This one is made by Colwood.
Colwood.
And I've had that detailer for I don't know how many years. Lots and lots and lots and lots of years.
Now these tips are different, I noticed, than those other ones for the less expensive tools.
Yes, and one of the reasons being is because you're controlling the temperature much better here than you are on those other tools. And here are some more tips that actually can be used in this same tool.
So different shapes again.
Different shapes for cutting different lines.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them can be used for shading. Here's one that, it's been bit and it can be used for shading. And these tips just come out of here like this.
So they just plug in versus having to use pliers, huh?
Yes, and this just plugs in here. Now, they will cool off fairly quickly when you shut it off, but you don't want to just shut it off and then grab a hold of one of these and try to.
Well, you could, but you wouldn't do it more than once.
You wouldn't do it very many times. That's absolutely true.
So show them. You have one other special wood burner over there.
I've got one over here that's a special one. This is one that I got years and years and years and years ago. You can tell by looking at it the way it's not a current handle or anything. It's wood. And what I did, I wanted to make a logo type thing on the end of it.
Can you show it to me?
That I could use on my wood carving. And to see, if you see that, well, I can't get it. There we go. My wood carving that I do, I call it tiger claws carving. And that is actually a tiger paw that I took a file and filed it in the end of the tip on this wood burner. I heat it up, and then I can mark.
And you made that tip.
And I made that tip, I did. And I can mark this, like this tiger paw here. I could mark that.
So
on
people
the,
know
on the carvings that I did.
They know it's a Tiger Claws original.
That's right. I put my initials on there or my name, and they know it's a Tiger Claws original.
So tell them about that piece.
This is a piece that I did a relief carving. And so this is a combination of wood carving and wood burning. And then I used the detailer to shade in the different areas, and probably at some point, I may even paint this with something.
But you can let the shading from the wood burning create all of that as well.
You could let that be all you want to do to it. That you wouldn't have to do any more to it if you didn't want to. Something else you could do with the detailer is, this is a wood carving that I just put details in with the wood burner, with the detail tool. You know, did his belt.
And again, he might or might not ever need any color additional.
That's right. He may never need to have any color. This is one that I did. This is a mandala.
Now that has no carving, right?
And there's no carving in this. This is just wood burned. Now, this isn't even decent wood to use. What I recommend using, I like to use basswood or beech or birch wood to do the carving if possible. It's a lot easier than using pine. Pine, because of the grain in the pine. This is a piece of plywood, and it worked pretty well, as you can see. This is a piece that is just a bird sitting on a branch.
That you incorporated what some people might say is a mistake in the wood into the tree.
This over here on this side, the tan area was was actually in the wood. It's in this board, and I just decided to use that as the trunk of the tree.
Which is fun. That's really cool.
Okay. Here's another one. Now this one was done on pine, and you can see how rough the lines are and everything, because I'm working over the top of looking at the top of that, you can see
It almost creates like a dashed line effect when you work on that.
Yes, because of the grain in the wood.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then the color on that, you can imagine where that cat hair came from.
Yeah.
The color on that was done with these walnut hollow oil pencils using paint thinner and a blender to do the coloring. Here's another one.
And that one is an interesting one because you've used one of those shaped tips, I think, to create the stars.
Yes, stars were done. The stars were actually a tip that came with one of these wood burners, and I just burned them in there.
And again, your color is applied.
And then the color is applied with those pencils, and then blended out with the paint thinner.
And that's cool. That is really cool. Well, hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of what is pyrography or wood burning. And thanks for joining me today and showing them all your fun stuff you've been playing around with.
You're welcome.
And we hope you join us over at HowToGetCreative.com. Tell your friends to come on over and check us out. And we'll see you again for another episode of What Is. Also, be sure and check us out on Fridays. We stream live on Fridays, every Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube. And we'd love to have you join us. That way we can chat with you live in the audience as well. So until next time, hey, thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.
Goodbye.